Welcome back to the channel. My people, do you know that 5 years ago, Nnamdi Kanu warned the whole world about something very shocking? He said the Hausa and the Yoruba had already sold their rights to the Fulani. At that time, many people thought he was just talking politics. But today, when you look around Nigeria, you begin to wonder, was Kanu speaking prophecy or pure truth? Stay with me, because what you are about to hear will shock you.
Fulani are now saying that Yoruba forest is now their irreversible homes. They have now occupied Yoruba land in perpetuity. And I want to let my Yoruba friends understand this. You see, in life, anytime you support evil, evil will come back to haunt you. All of you never knew that IPOB and this Biafra movement was for your liberation. Some of you saw maybe the oil and gas from Biafra land. If they go now, we'll have access to oil and gas. In the process of having your eyes fixated on oil and gas, your forest is gone. Do you understand it? There is nothing more precious in life than freedom. Freedom is very important. And I need you to understand this very morning. Every Yoruba person supporting Fulani, you are setting up yourself to become like the Hausa people. Remember when Hausa was supporting Fulani? We are Hausa Fulani, we are Hausa Fulani. Where are the Hausa people today? I ask you. Where are those Hausa people today? Do you see them anymore? They're saying we are Hausa Fulani, we are Hausa Fulani. Do you see them again today? Do you see them? I'm asking you. No, because Fulani have completely overwhelmed them. It's called emasculation. Completely emasculated them. Look at what they're doing in the East. In the East, they come to the East, they will tell you, oh, you want to be the president or vice? Yeah. They say, give us land for Ruga. They give them land. As soldiers of Kadu did that law, Banta. They have taken it over in forever and ever. Give us land in your state. Hope most of them are proof to us that you are stood. Give us land in Olu. Hope most of them will give them land in Olu. We can go and kill people in Obibo. We can kill for them. How many Fulani governors are prepared to kill bandits? I didn't say normal people. I'm talking about armed, dangerous bandits. How many Fulani governors? Go and read your newspapers, you will see it there. Fulani governors are negotiating with them, giving them arms, giving them vehicles, making sure that their life is no longer a misery. But see, they come down to the south. They tell you, give us land for Ruga. Go and kill your people to prove to us that you're one Nigerian. That was why Obi was talking rubbish. Was yesterday or 2 days ago. Supported by the BBC. The problem you people have in Nigeria is this. Your journalists, you see people, Punch newspaper, Tribune, Vanguard, and Nation, they are your second worst enemies. I'm telling you the truth. They can never ever be objective in their reportage. Never, ever, ever. That's why all of you are suffering. But you don't know it. They were the same people used to scuttle the NSAS protest. Of course, some of you went about looking for Indomie in warehouses. Typical black people. Any revolution that is coming now, you must stand very firm. They'll say, oh, you're Igbo. Oh, you're Yoruba. Oh, you're from Europe. Don't join them. It's our turn in 2023. If you do this, you will scuttle our chances of becoming the president in 2023. Ask yourself, all of them that have been president from time immemorial, what benefit has it brought to you as a human being? Absolutely nothing. Look at them now. How they have now descended on Yoruba people, asking them to concede. Give us your forest. We must graze. We must do this. We must do that. And slowly, before your eyes, they are giving in. They are capitulating. They are allowing them to go. If you don't give it to us, Tinubu will not be president in 2023. Tinubu won't be the president. That's what I'm saying to you. And foolishly, you will agree and hand over your land to them. And once they take your land over from you, look at Hausa. Is there any Hausa governor today? Is there any Hausa emir? Is there land though? Katsina is the Hausa land. Kanu is Hausa land. Sokoto is Hausa land. The Hausa people own it, indigenous to those areas. I'm asking you this question. Is there any Hausa man who is an emir in the north? The answer is no. Something is going to happen to you.
Now, you have heard it from his own mouth. But the big question is, was Kanu right? To answer that, let us break it down step by step. And please don't just watch halfway, because the last part of this analysis will expose why Nigeria is the way it is today, and why the ordinary people, both Igbo, Hausa and Yoruba, are suffering the same pain while the Fulani elites sit on top. Trust me, you don't want to miss the last fact. Political power handshake. From the very beginning of Nigeria's independence, power has been passed around like a secret handshake. The Hausa and Yoruba leaders, instead of protecting the interests of their people, choose to partner with Fulani elites. Why? Because it gave them short-time positions, contracts, and recognition in Abuja. But here is the problem. Every time these leaders bent their knee, they gave away piece of their people's future. Nnamdi Kanu was right. This is what it means to sell your rights. Imagine a father who takes food from a stranger while his children are starving. That is how Hausa and Yoruba leaders acted. They left the ordinary man suffering in poverty while they align with Fulani control political structures. Over the years, this handshake of betrayal has only grown stronger. It is why no matter how elections go, the Fulani are never far from power, and until that circle is broken, ordinary Nigerians will remain slaves in their own land. The Fulani presidency circle. Look at Nigeria's presidential history closely. Every time someone sits in Aso Rock, the Fulani elites are either the president themselves or the invisible hand behind the curtain. Even when a Yoruba man like Obasanjo ruled, Fulani generals and politicians shaped the system around him. Even when Goodluck Jonathan and Ijoman became president, Fulani power brokers in the military and politics ensure his government was surrounded and pressured. Kanu saw this pattern years ago. He said the Hausa and Yoruba sold their rights because they allow Fulani elites to dominate the presidency, directly or indirectly. Instead of standing up for equality, it is like playing football when one team owns the referee and the stadium and even the scoreboard. How can the other teams ever win? Nigerians keep voting, but the Fulani networks keep controlling. That is why it looks like leadership changes, yet the system remains the same. The presidency circle is Fulani engineer, and the silence of Hausa and Yoruba elites make them guilty. Betrayal of regional interests. Nigeria is full of cries from different regions. The Middle Belt has shouted about killings and land grabbing. The South has cried over marginalization and lack of infrastructure. The East has wept over injustice and the brutalization of IPOB members. But when these cries rise, where are Hausas and Yoruba's elites? Silent. Why? Because they are busy protecting their benefits they receive from Fulani rulers. They sold their conscience for power. Think about it. If Yoruba leaders had stood with the East during the IPOB crackdowns, would things have gone this far? If Hausa politicians had challenged Fulani killings in southern Kaduna, would the bloodshed continue? But instead of unity, these leaders choose betrayal. They look away from the pains of their own people and they pretend all was well because Abuja promised them power. This is why Kanu's words cut deep. Selling your right is not just about politics, it is about abandoning your people in their hour of need. Economic depends. Economies is where the betrayal becomes even more visible. Who controls Nigeria oil wealth? Who decide how money flows from Abuja? The Fulani dominated system. They dictate who gets oil blocks, who controls contracts, who dominates the cattle business, and who has access to resources. Now, here's the sad part. Hausa and Yoruba politicians know this truth, but instead of fighting back, they choose to join the same system. Imagine the Yoruba people know for business, commerce, and education, depending on Fulani allies for economy survival. Imagine the Hausa, the majority population in the north, working as laborers, while a Fulani elite few take the profits. This is not just unfair, it is slavery in disguise. Kanu called it out years ago. He said they sold their rights. What he means is this: they surrender their economic independence in exchange for crumbs. Meanwhile, the Fulani elite keep growing richer, building mansions, controlling oil and gas, and leaving the masses to suffer in hunger. Silence during injustice. Do you remember when IPOB was declared a terrorist organization? Soldiers invaded the east, killed civilians, and burned down communities. But real terrorists, Boko Haram and Fulani herdsmen, were moving freely, sometimes even receiving amnesty. Where were the Hausa and Yoruba allies? Silent. They did not challenge the injustice. They did not say this is wrong. Instead, they pretend nothing was happening. Why? Because they didn't want to offend the Fulani system that feeds them. This silence is the most painful betrayal. It shows that they value their political survival more than human lives. Nnamdi Kanu was right to shout that they sold their rights when injustice become normal. In one part of the country, it will soon spread everywhere, and today, Yoruba farmers are facing herdsmen invasion. Hausa villagers are being killed by bandits, yet the leaders remain mute. Still loyal to the Fulani elite, this silence is not weakness, it is evidence of the deal they made. Use of divide and rule. The Fulani elite have mastered a strategy: divide and rule. They know that if Hausa, Yoruba, and Igbo unite, their power will collapse. So they play the tribes against each other. During election, they whisper to Yoruba, "Don't trust the Igbo." To Hausa, they say, "The South is your enemy." And sadly, Hausa and Yoruba politicians fall into the trap. Instead of building unity, they sell their loyalty to Fulani power broker, while the masses fight themselves. Think of it. When Igbo leaders complain about marginalization, Yoruba elites call it noise. When Yoruba farmers complain about herdsmen, Hausa elites call it propaganda. This is exactly how Fulani elites maintain control. They divide the tribes while they collect oil money, military power, and political dominance. Kanu's warning was simple but powerful. They sold their rights. That sale included accepting division instead of unity. Until Nigerians understand this divide and rule trick, Fulani dominance will continue unchallenged. Herdsmen agenda. For years, Fulani herdsmen have been invading farmlands in the south, middle belt, and even parts of the north. Villages have been burned, farmers killed, women raped, and communities destroyed. The evidence is everywhere. But instead of Hausa and Yoruba leaders standing up for their people, they downplay the crisis. They said it was just clashes or misunderstandings. Why? Because they didn't want to offend the Fulani elite who sponsor and protect these herdsmen. Kanu saw this coming. He warned that selling your right also means surrendering your land, and that is exactly what is happening. Farmers are afraid to go to their farms. Food prices are skyrocketing. Hunger is rising. Yet leaders remain silent because they trade safety for political favors. The herdsmen agenda is not just about cows, it is about control of land, control of resources, and total domination. And the Hausa and Yoruba allies, through their silence, became accomplices. The Tinubu question. Now, let us talk about Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Many Yoruba people believe that when Tinubu becomes president, Yoruba land will finally rise. They believe he will be free from Fulani dominance. But look at Nigeria today under his government. Is Tinubu really free? Or is he just another leader trapped in the same Fulani control system? Kanu warned that Yoruba leaders already sold their right long ago. Tinubu's structure prove it. He may be present, but the Fulani allies still hold the key to military control, oil wealth, and political balance. If he tries to go against them, the system will shake him. This is why fuel prices, insecurity, and suffering remain the same. A Yoruba president without Yoruba independence is like a king without a crown. The question Nigeria must ask is this: is Tinubu truly ruling Nigeria, or is he only managing the Fulani empire on their behalf? Hausa slavery to Fulani. People often forget that even the Hausa are not free. Centuries ago, the Fulani overthrew Hausa kings and installed themselves as emirs. Since then, the Hausa have been second-class citizens in their own land. They are the majority by numbers, but minority in power. The ordinary Hausa man lives in poverty, while Fulani allies enjoy luxury. And yet, Hausa politicians still bow to Fulani dominance. This is exactly what Kanu was shouting about. He said the Hausa sold their rights, and history proved it. Even today, look at Northern Nigeria. Bandits terrorize Hausa villages. Farmers are killed, girls are kidnapped. Yet, Hausa politicians cannot challenge the Fulani structure that controls them. Instead, they stay silent, just like their Yoruba counterparts. The slavery of the Hausa to Fulani allies is one of the biggest tragedies in Africa. It shows how power can blind an entire people for centuries, and how betrayal can become tradition. The coming awakening. The Fulani allies fear one thing more than anything else: a day when Hausa, Yoruba, and Igbo will all wake up and realize they are victims of the same system. The Fulani are few in numbers compared to other tribes, but they hold power because the rest remain divided. If Nigerians ever rise in unity, the Fulani empire will collapse overnight. That is why Nnamdi Kanu's words are so powerful even today. He was not just warning Igbo people, he was warning the whole nation. Hausa, Yoruba, and Igbo must all see the truth. Their leaders sold them out. But it's not too late. A united people can take back their rights. The question is, will Nigerians wake up in time, or will they keep fighting each other while Fulani allies enjoy the spoil?